Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Josiah Agro TV. If this is your first time watching my video, my name is Josiah Adoga, and today I want to tell you 6 mistakes that farmers are making that are costing them the lives of their animals. Now, number one is not treating their animals on time. You see a lot of farmers, their animals will get sick. What they will do, you see them, they'll just see the animal that the animal is sick. What you see them do is they'll just allow the animal, hoping that the animal will recover by itself. Meanwhile, on a real sense, as a livestock farmer, if your animals are sick, you don't wait for them to get healed by themselves. What you do is you isolate those animals, the ones you see that they are showing signs of sickness. You isolate them and try to give them special attention, treat those ones until they have recovered. That is when you can allow them to join with the heads of your animals. But a lot of people, even they will allow the animals. Sometimes you see some people, they will call me, they tell me my animal is sick, it's purging, it's not eating, and I will ask the person, when did this start? The person will tell me that this started like 2 weeks or a week ago, and you didn't tell me that time. Now, when your animal is sick at that initial stage, that is when you need to treat that animal, not when you wait for the illness to escalate to something else. That's when you start looking for how to treat. Isolate that, make sure that you treat that animal on time. And how will you know if an animal is sick? That is when you go to your farm, when those animals are eating, and you are always going there. When you feed them, you stand there, watch them eat for at least some minutes or even an hour. You watch them eat. That is the only way you'll be able to notice that this animal is not feeling fine. And how will you notice? You notice it from the behavior of the animal. Sometimes if you walk into your like your goat pen, you see that, like if I walk into my pen now, you discover that those animals will be coming towards me expecting food. Now if you walk into your pen and you discover that why others are coming, some of those animals are not coming towards you like they normally used to do. They are isolating themselves, standing one corner, no, not chewing their cord. You should know that these animals are sick, and that is the stage that you need to start. Immediately you discover, that is when you start treating those animals. So number 2 point is administering wrong medication. Administering wrong medication could be something that can bring down your animal's health. Now, most people don't even want to know what is wrong with that animal. Once an animal is not eating, they assume it's warm, and they'll start deworming that animal. Once an animal is not feeling fine, it doesn't mean that it is warm. It's not warm at most times. You have to check what is actually wrong with that animal before you administer any antibiotic. You have to know what is actually wrong with this animal. If the animal is passing out watery excreta, you have to check how does the excreta look like. Preferably call a vet. Call a vet. If you don't have that experience, call a veterinary doctor to help you check your animal. And if you're staying in a place where it is hard to reach a vet, probably that's why you need to get a mentor, somebody that you can actually reach out to, can help you with one or two. But don't wait till that illness get to a particular stage or escalate to something else that your animal is completely down. That is not when you need to call a vet. Call a vet at the initial stage. Number three is herbal medication. Yeah, a lot of people, they just want to give herbal medication. I am not against it. In fact, I give herbal medication to my animals, but not in the form of medicine. Like now I feed my animals with moringa, I feed my animals with like bitter leaf and some of these leaves that are medicinal. I feed it to my animals, not with the aim of curing anything. I don't, when my animals are sick, I don't go to give them herbal medication. No, I give them this medication as I give them these leaves as food. So those things will help to boost their immune system. It's not when my goat is down that I will go and begin to look for herbal medicine and begin to squeeze bitter leaf and say I want to give it to it. No. Once your animal, you see that your animals are sick, make sure you get them the right medication, not herbal. Then you can only give herbal medicine to your animals. Like me, I give it to them not as actually medicine, but as immune boosters. I give, if you look around around this my farm, you see that there is how is it called, there is moringa, and there are other leaves around that I feed to my animals. So I don't give it to them as a medication. I give it to them as immune boosters to help them boost their immune system so that they will not be sick. That is what I do. It helps improve their health. Not when my animal is down, I begin to squeeze bitter leaf into the mouth. I begin to give palm oil. I begin to give different kind of um, herbal treatments. No, if you do like that, before you know, you start losing a lot of animals. Start giving it because most of those things start from when your animal is sick and you meet your neighbor that is keeping 2 3 goats in his house, and you ask, ah, look at what is happening to my animal. Some of them will tell you, ah, this thing happened to my animal the last time, and I gave the animal this leaf, that I just go and buy that, just go and plug that leaf, squeeze it to the mouth of the goat, and your goat will be fine. No, you can give those leaves to your animals, but as immune boosters, as feed. They can eat it and it will help their health, not as treatment. Number four is not feeding your goat properly. Yeah, not feeding your goat properly. Most people, when they want to feed their goat, they just carry their goat, tie it somewhere. Goats love freedom. Goats specifically, they love freedom. They love to be free, and that is why if you don't have a space, you have to just create a house. Then have an exercising yard where instead of you tying those goats with ropes for them to eat, just have an exercising yard, just a little exercising yard where those animals will play around. Where if you give them food, they eat. They love to jump and play. So if you just want to tie your animals, you might not have your animals might not be looking healthy. So make sure you feed them properly and not just with grasses. Make sure that you give them shrubs like leaves, you give them grasses. If you have like remnant of food, not bad food, I'm talking about like maybe like you have beans that you've selected, like the chaff, you can feed it to your animals, not waste food that is already spoiled. It's not good to give to animals. Feed your animals with other feed like that, but don't just give them grasses. Feed them properly and you see that your animals will be looking healthy. And make sure you also give multivitamin to your animals. It will also help to improve the health of your animal. Then number five, not giving your animals enough water to drink. Not giving your animals enough water to drink. Most people, if you ask them, they'll tell you, if I keep water for these goats, sometimes they don't drink, they just drink small and then they will leave it. Now, if you for your goat to be able to drink a lot of water, that goat needs to eat a lot of food first and get satisfied. That is when the goat will be able to drink water. Yeah, and most of the times that is why I put things like wheat offer and some other things that will make that goat want to drink a lot of water, because when your goat drinks water it will become hydrated. That is when your goat will be hydrated and you'll be looking healthy. Water plays a vital role in the health of your goat, so make sure you allow your goat to drink water as much as possible, because a goat that drinks water, you see that goat looking very healthy, and it will be difficult for that goat to get sick, because that water will help. You see that if it drinks a lot of water it will be urinating frequently, which will help in detoxification, yeah, thereby preventing your animals from getting sick. And the last point, which is number six, is buying cheap goods to stock your farm. Buying cheap goods to stock your farm. If you're buying a cheap good to stock your farm, it could be a very big mistake. Don't get me wrong, some people can decide to sell their goat cheap, but I will tell you for free, no farmer will want to take his healthy and good goods to the market and sell it at a very cheap price. And that is when I get a lot of calls. People will call me, we heard that goat is cheap in the north. Actually, goat is cheap in northern Nigeria as compared to other parts of Nigeria. It is cheaper. But don't think you're going to buy a goat, maybe a goat that you're buying for 70,000, a goat that you're selling for 70,000 in they're selling for 70,000 in maybe in the east, in the south, and you expect to buy it 20,000 here. It doesn't work that way. Now, goats are cheap in the north, but most of the goats that are cheap are goats that are sick. Yeah, they are sick goats. So if you want to buy a breeding goat, you definitely the price will not be as the same as the goat that is sick. If you want to buy a goat for slaughter, you can in the north you can buy some goats that are no, they are not too strong, but you can take them. They will be looking. They will still be having meat, so you can take those ones for slaughter. But if you need a goat for breeding, you need a young goat for breeding. You need goats for breeding. The price is not too low, but it is not high. Yeah, so don't expect to come. You want to buy a goat that you're buying. 70, 80,000 naira in your side, you want to come and buy it here 20,000 naira. You know, it doesn't work that way. If goat are that healthy goats are that cheap in the north, everybody will be doing the business. That is just the thing. And you might buy a goat, take to your farm, and discover that that goat will be a big disturbance to you because you won't rest. That goat will be getting sick every time. Yeah, that is because you decide to buy a cheap goat, a goat that is not feeling fine. And to identify those goats, not everybody will be able to identify a sick goat in the market. Sometimes when you go to the market, you see that some of those goats um already in the sun, and the buyers will make you feel like those goats are healthy, but if you actually look well, you see that those goats are not healthy. So for you to stock your farm, make sure you get a healthy goat. Buy a healthy goat, preferably from a breeder. If you're buying from the market, look very well. Yeah. And when you take it to your farm, don't mix it with the head order of your goat. Make sure you isolate that goat. Keep it in the quarantine section. Quarantine that goat for some time before you allow that goat to join the rest of your herds. So thank you for watching this episode of Josiah Agro TV. Do make sure that you like this video, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you in the next episode. Bye bye.